Hi guys, happy Cinco de Mayo. Welcome back to yoga. This is our 13th virtual class together. That's quite a lot. That's more than I originally thought we would be doing, but who knows how high we'll go, right? Get a comfy spot, unroll your mat. If you have a blanket or a beach towel or something to sit up on, do that and just perch yourself on it so that you can sit a little straighter and taller for our for the things we do on the floor. And just get comfy, okay? So lay out, arms out, palms up, and we'll get started right away. It's a gorgeous day, and my kids want a bike ride, and I need to get in another walk with the dog. So we're gonna get right into it, okay? Lay down, get comfy. Trying out new yoga pants today. I'm not sure how I feel about them. I like how they feel. They feel nice and sleek and silky. And I like that they're super wide-legged on the bottom. That's one of my favorite things. They're very high-waisted, which I think could go either one of two ways. It could prevent me from having to pull on them all the time, or it could make me have to pull on them more. And they also have a built-in ribbon belt, which I'm not sure about either, but I thought I'd give them a try with you guys and see if I like them enough to order more or keep them for when life resumes and we are back in our usual space with each other. So, when did I see you last? Saturday, maybe, unless you've done some of the other classes in between. We've had amazing weather, right? It's been nice, it's been sunny, it's been hot and breezy and cold. It's been like kind of everything, but it hasn't been rainy or snowy, so it's all good. What are we on? Day 49, 50, 51, 52, 52, right? Is today day 52? Saturday was 49. That's how I count, by increments in Saturdays. Every Saturday is a new 7. So Saturday was 49, 50, 51, 52. So what have we done since I saw you last? We spent some time on the beach, which was very nice. Everybody was respectful. Everyone gave each other space. It was a beautiful day. We got a little tiny bit of color so we don't feel quite as ghostly as we might have a week ago. What else? Not much else. We've walked, we've cooked, we've done laundry. I washed my comforter, which my best friend encouraged me to do. You know, like I change my sheets every week, but the comforter is a bigger situation. And so I ripped it off the other day, decided that we were worth washing our comforter as often as we wanted to. And I threw it in the wash, threw it in the dryer, put it on the bed, and then literally that night laid across my bed and smelled it because it just smelled so fresh and clean and a little bleachy because everything is white in our bedroom. All of our linens are white. So it was very nice. And then the dog came in and rolled all over it, and now it probably smells like dog. So for like 30 seconds, I had a fresh comforter. I don't know what else to tell you. Everything else is status quo. Obviously no school. Everyone knows that, right? We kind of knew that was happening anyway, so just needed the official word. But that's good. That's fine. I mean, we're into this anyway, so what the heck. Just booked our condo for Ocean City, Maryland for the end of August, which is our favorite place in the whole world. So once we know that we have our condo set, then we have something exciting to look forward to. And I usually do that in like February or March, but then all of this started and I just wasn't sure what to do. And today I don't even care. I talked to the rental agent, gave her the debit card number, we're all set. So that's going to be exciting to look forward to, even if summer's a little different this year. How are you guys feeling physically? Are you feeling like the stress is building up and your shoulders are tight? Are you still feeling anxiety in your tummy, like maybe just an unsettled stomach? Walking, the hamstrings, the hips, like everything that we've been talking about. I'm kind of feeling all of that, but I'm not really sure why. because I don't think I'm especially anxious. I don't think I'm really worried, but I'm definitely feeling a little off. My stomach's been a little bit off the last couple days, and I'm a little tight, but nothing that some yoga can't fix, right? So you're lying on your back, your arms are out, your palms are up. My favorite stretch, my favorite way to start a class. Actually, I love these. They feel really nice. They feel like these old school yoga pants that were really popular like maybe 15 years ago. They feel super, super silky. Lie on your back, arms out, palms up. Pull the knees in using only your core muscles, and then drop your legs over to the right, and then pay attention to the left arm. You want the length of the left arm to be out flat on the ground next to you with your palm up. And as I've told you a million times, you're either looking straight up or you're looking at the hand. And then you find your breath, right? I read something very interesting to me, at least, not that long ago, a few minutes ago. A studio owner that I've known for a long time was asking her students when they would be comfortable getting back together again. Like when their town opened up and lessened restrictions, when would people feel comfortable coming back to a live yoga class? And I was really surprised at a lot of the answers. I kind of thought people would jump on it. And that's not what happened. A lot of people were just like, nope, no time soon. 1 year to 18 months when we have a vaccine. Other people were like, I don't know, I kind of like the way virtual is working for me. Just keep doing that, keep offering that, and I'll keep doing that. And then somebody said that they think a really good benchmark to go by for when it's a good time to get back into socializing, I guess, is when hospitals allow visitors to come in. And I thought, oh, I like that. Because when hospitals start to allow visitors, you know that they must be feeling pretty confident that no one's going to walk in healthy and walk out unhealthy. And I thought, oh, that's a good one, but who knows, right? Who knows when that'll happen. I've resigned myself to the fact that this is completely out of our control. And I miss teaching my classes. I miss my kids going to school and getting the full experience every day. I miss seeing my parents and being in the same room as them, but I don't mind living like this. I'm okay. I'm kind of okay with it. I mean, I should have done more, like washed windows and stuff, but I have time, I think, so we're good. All right, bring your knees up to center. Come on into happy baby, or one hand on each kneecap. If you're doing the one hand on each kneecap, muscularly release in your shoulders so that your arms are really heavy and that you can pull yourself wide, opening up the hips and the pelvic floor at the same time, but just letting your body weight pull you into the pose. You know, this online workout that I've been doing a couple times a week uses only body weight. They advertise that you don't need any props or any equipment. It's only body weight. And I think people like that. I think it's intimidating when you feel like you have to have certain equipment in your house to get the workout. And yoga, for the most part, except for like bolsters or straps or something like that, it's body weight. And this is one of those, this is one of those poses where you want to let your body weight work for you and let the heaviness of your arms and your upper body pull you deeper into the pose. So bring everything back together. Arms are still out, palms are up. Now you're going to drop your legs to the left, and you're either looking straight up or towards the right hand, coming into a twist. How did you feel the other day after we did twists? Did you feel good? I like twists. They always feel satisfying to me. But I guess I hadn't done some of those twists in a while, and I was kind of alarmed at the limit in my twisting that I was able to do on one side. I think because my one shoulder is super tight. And I figured out, I could be totally wrong, but I think maybe it's really tight because I've been walking the dog like 5 miles a day, and I always hold the leash in my right hand. And she is strong. She's a puppy. She's 9 months old. She's about 35 pounds maybe, but she's really strong. When she wants to pull you, you're not in charge. And so I'm constantly fighting and pulling with my right arm and pulling back, And I think this shoulder is really tight because of that. So it was kind of interesting. I've been trying to switch it up and hold her on the other hand, but then I don't feel as strong in case she like really jerks. I don't feel like I've got as good of a grip, but that was eye-opening for me. So thanks for playing along. Pull your knees up to center, happy baby, or one hand on each kneecap, and go wide. And again, let the body weight, let the heaviness of your arms pull your legs apart, open up your hips, and just create some space in your lower body that you probably need. Even if you don't feel like you do, you probably do. Obviously, I have to wash my hair tonight, hence the hat. It's hard to figure out when to wash your hair because it's such a commitment. You know, you have to dry it, you have to deal with second day hair the next day. Even going nowhere and seeing nobody, it's still a commitment, so I still have to think it through. But I knew I was going to do this today. I knew I was going to do another workout. I knew I was going to walk the dog a couple times. So I figured tonight I could safely wash my hair and then have decently clean hair for like the next 2 days or so. Oh. Okay, bring your legs straight up in the air. So you're still on your back. Your arms are still out at your side, palms up. Flex your feet. Press up through your heels like crazy and pull the toes down. And then at the same time, press out through the back of your knee so that you're almost hyperextending, but not quite. You want to feel like you're almost pushing your kneecap out through the back of your knee, but then not quite, you know? So it's like as straight as your leg can be. Toes come down, heels lift high. You're lengthening across the arch when you do that. So for anyone that's got any kind of plantar fasciitis issues right now, this is a good one for you. It's a lot. If you work your way up your legs, you're trying to align over the hip, pressing out through the back of the knee, pulling the toes down, lifting up through the heel, and then getting all the benefits of that at the same time, which are hamstring opening, calf opening, Achilles opening, arch of the foot lengthening. There's just a lot going on, but it's all good stuff. Keep pulling the toes down, keep pressing out through the back of the knees. Big breath in. Exhale the breath, bend at the knee, bring the feet to the ground, soles of the feet together, let the knees drop out to the sides. And then find your breath. Close your eyes and find your breath. Inhaling in through the nose, exhaling out through the nose, but in the middle part of that, holding the breath low in the core and taking a second to just be still with it. Right? A second, 2 seconds, whatever's comfortable for you. Just kind of holding the breath there comfortably. You don't want to feel like you're gasping or you're uncomfortable, but you want to hold the breath there and just sit with it for a second. So when you're doing this pose, scoot your heels in closer to your body and let your knees drop. So there's a release in the hip that you need to find to let the knees really surrender and drop to the floor. This is, again, working with body weight, working with your own body weight to get deeper into the pose. So if you're holding the knees up a little bit and using your inner thigh muscles at all to keep the knees higher, then you're not going to get the full benefit of the pose. You want to really muscularly just flop. That's an official phrase. Just flop. Flop into the pose. Just take a couple more deep breaths here. Ooh, I just cracked my neck really good. I wish you could hear all the popping going on in my neck right now. It's like Rice Krispies. All right, so roll over to your right, come on up onto hands and knees. Fingers are spread nice and wide. Pointer fingers are pointing forward. thumbs are pointing in towards one another. So I think I mentioned this really quick the other day, and then someone shot me a quick email and they weren't sure what I was talking about. So I apologize. I didn't explain it well enough. When you're doing downward facing dog, when you're doing cat and cow, when you're doing anything where your arms are in this position on the floor, this is your elbow crease right here. So you don't want that to be facing straight ahead. See how right now my elbow creases are facing you? That means I'm hyperextending my arms. You don't want to do that. You always want them to be facing in towards one another, and you want a soft bend in the elbow so that when you go up into your pose, you can maintain that. You don't want to all of a sudden jam the creases forward again. So elbow creases face in towards one another, soft bend in the elbow, even when you're just doing cat and cow. Curl your toes under. Let's start with our cat and cow, moving on our breath, inhaling, arching our back up, dropping our head, exhaling, looking forward and letting the core come towards the floor, okay? So inhale up, exhale, and do the opposite action. Inhale up, exhale. Keep moving at your own pace. Noticing how this feels on every part of your back, and then seeing what you can do to make it an even better lengthening. Like I know for me, when I'm in this position, if I can bring my chest through my upper arms more, I feel it really, really intensely across my upper mid back, which is where I need it. And then when I do the opposite, if I roll my arms in a little bit, I feel it in the back of my shoulders, which feels really good too. So in every single pose, you want to play a little and figure out what's going to work best for you. Come to your tabletop position. Stretch your right leg out behind you. Curl the toes under. Press them into the mat. And then press your heel out so that you feel this in the back of your knee and down the back of your calf. And it's a full back of the leg stretch. And then bring that knee in. Same thing on the other side. Press out. Bring it back in. Now we're just going to tabletop, which is a flat back, and we're just going to gently move our hips from side to side, trying to release anything in our back or our low back or the back of our hips in our iliosacral area that might be tight. So kind of play with this a little. Let your hips go as far as you're comfortable. And then come back to neutral. And we're going to come into a quick balance pose. So our left leg is going to lift up behind us and we're going to flex our foot. So flexing your foot is the same thing that you did when you were lying on your back. You're going to pull the toes in and press out through the heel. Okay, so left leg up, no higher than your hip. Right arm up, thumb up, finger spread. So it's opposite leg, opposite arm. Nice big breath in. Exhale, bring the hand down, bring the knee down, and then go back to your gentle side to side motion. Just a little bit of a hip drop, noticing which side goes easier. So I think I've told you before, I know my right hip is a lot tighter than my left. So when I do this, just this simple, easy motion, I can release a lot more to the left comfortably than I can to the right. The right feels a lot more locked. So that's something for me to pay attention to. And if you're feeling something like that, just take a note. So now we're going to lift the right leg behind us. Flex the foot. Left arm up. Find your balance here. Big breath in. Hand down. Knee down. And then we're going to come into a wide knee child's pose. So big toes touch. Knees go wide, forehead or chin down to the floor. A little tricky in my hat, so I'm just going to hang out right here. All right, guys, come on up. We're gonna go into our downward facing dog. So check your elbow creases, right? They shouldn't be facing me. They shouldn't be facing the front of the room. They should be facing in towards one another. So you wanna be conscious of keeping a little bend, a micro bend we call it, not a big exaggerated bend, a little micro bend, and just keeping the creases facing in towards one another, okay? So curl your toes under, lift your hips, come on up into dog. Drop the heels to as low as you're comfortable. Find your breath. Let's do 5 deep breaths. 5 inhales, 5 exhales here. Okay, we're going to come down to hands and knees. We're going to go back into our wide knee child's pose, and then we're going to go into a big hip opener, okay? So wide knee, big toes touch, arms out in front of you, forehead, chin, chest, something down to the mat so that you can relax into the pose. Okay, come on up. Bring your knees back so that they're, halfway back on your mat. Adjust your clothes. I don't know about the high waist. It's really high. It's like way up here. I don't know. But I like the pants, so it's a give and take, I guess. Okay, so you're going to come forward with your right foot. Get the knee over the ankle. So you're in a low front lunge leg, okay? Now, hands are going to come down. You're going to roll open the front foot. Release the front hip or release the left hip. And you can stay on flat palms. You can come onto fingertips here. Try not to go lower than this right now, okay? Because we haven't really played with our back that much yet. So just make this about the hip. How badly do you guys need a real pedicure? It's awful. It's just awful. All right, bring that knee back. Hands and knees. Find your gentle rocking motion side to side, right? Just to release the low back a little. And now we're going to do the same hip opener with the left foot in front. So you're going to step the left leg up, ankle under knee. You know what they're like? They're like parachute pant material. Remember parachute pants? That's kind of what they're like, which is why I think I like them, because I loved my black parachute pants covered in zippers. Very Michael Jackson. Roll open on the front foot, and then again, don't come lower than your hands. So your arms are fairly straight here. You're not coming all the way down onto your forearms. You're staying up a little bit right now. But you're letting the knee roll out. You're letting the body weight of the front leg just pull that hip out a little bit to the side. Okay, come on back. Hands and knees. We're going to come up into dog. We're going to inhale forward into a plank, engage the core. Do a couple Just follow me, okay? Come on up into your dog. Nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, move into your plank. So from here, hips are going to come down and you're going to find a high cobra. High cobra, you also want to be careful of elbow creases. So take a look. See how mine are facing in? If I were to face them towards you, everything would get tight and my shoulders would lock. So if I soften them, I put a little bend, I have better range of motion in my shoulders, but I also don't feel as tight and crowded around my neck. So here we are in a high cobra. Nice deep breath. Exhale, curl the toes under, lift the hips, come on up into downward facing dog. Drop the heels as low as you're comfortable here and just relax into the pose. Take some nice deep breaths. So we're going to walk our feet up to meet our hands, coming into a standing forward bend at the front of your mat. Okay? So little baby steps. If you go up onto fingertips, it gives you a little bit more space to walk all the way up. And then again, playing off the idea of letting our body weight bring us deeper into poses today, you're going to cross your arms and hang forward. Drop your head. Maybe even bring a little bit of a side to side here to your pose. That can feel really good too. All right, release your arms and you're gonna roll all the way up. So slowly, 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 come all the way up. Stay where you are. I'm never sure when I do that if I cut my head off. So now move yourself back so that you're, I don't know, like a little bit further back than halfway on your mat. So your left foot is going to stay where it is in sort of a warrior pose, which means turned out a little, but as we go into the pose, you might want to adjust for whatever suits you. Some people really like a strong angle. Some people not as much. I'm a not as much, depending on what side I'm on, to tell you the truth. My right foot's going to step forward, maybe 2 feet. And I want to square my hips. So that's the important part of this. Your back foot can be wherever you want it, but you have to be able to square your hips off. So if I were to turn my back foot out more, I'd have a much harder time squaring off my hips and not having it feel really crummy in my back knee. The more I turn my back foot up, the easier it is to square my hips towards the front of the room, towards you. And that's what I want you to do here too. So it's like a warrior one hip. Warrior one, your hips are forward, right? So lift the toes on the front foot. I don't know if you can see my toes are lifted. Almost hyperextend, but not quite. Keep the micro bend in the front knee. Hips are forward. Arms are going to come up. And we're going to play with our body weight again, bringing us deeper into a forward bend, but also opening up our hamstrings and our front hip. So as we start to come forward, hinging at the hips, keep the toes lifted so that the lower leg muscles stay engaged. If my toes are lifted, my calf muscles are engaged. If I release my toes, my leg isn't doing anything. Arms are out, come all the way down, cross your arms at the elbows, and release your head. Drop the toes down to the floor for balance, and just hang out here in this forward bend. Now release your hands to either side of the front foot. Come on to fingertips here. Lift the toes again. And this time, come up onto the ball of the back foot. Bring your hands out maybe a foot in front of the front foot and launch the back leg. So it's about hip height. Nice big breath in. Exhale. Bring that foot back down to the floor. Come back to your original position. And then roll all the way up to stand. Did you get that? It was just a leg lift. When we launch the back leg up, only needs to come as high as your back hip. And we're not holding it for very long, so it's a balance, but you've got 3 things on the floor, your front leg and both hands, so you're kind of in a tripod, okay? We're gonna try it on the other side. It's a variation of Warrior 3, I guess. So now we're gonna step up, and we're gonna forward bend. We'll do 3 flat backs, so you inhale up. First flat back, arch your back, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale up. Flat back. Exhale and release. One more, inhale up. Exhale and release. So now we're going to leave the left foot right where it is, step back with the right foot, and remember we only want maybe 2 feet between our feet. Back toes are turned up to where you want them, but where you want them is determined by how you can square your hips. So again, if I were to turn that back foot out more, and this knee was facing straight out to my side, I can't square my hips comfortably without feeling it in that knee. I don't want to feel it in the knee. You always want to protect your knee, right? So if I turn the back foot up more, I can comfortably square my hips off towards you. And then I'm going to lift the front toes, right? Engage the calf muscles by lifting the front toes. Start to forward bend here. And then come all the way down, crossing my arms at the elbows, and then releasing the toes down once I'm in my forward bend. Okay, now fingertips to the floor. Walk your hands out about 1 foot in front of the front foot. I'm on the ball of my back foot. I'm going to lean my weight into my front hands, well, my hands, and then my front standing leg. And I'm going to launch the back leg up, flexing the foot, no higher than the hip. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, bring the foot down. And then I'm going to step up, coming into my standing forward bend towards the front end of my mat. Release the back of your neck. Let your spine lengthen from the tailbone out through the crown of your head. And then when you're ready, you're going to roll up nice and slow, vertebrae by vertebrae, so that the head is the very last thing up to center. Come on up. All right, shake everything out. So that's a really good hip opener and hamstring stretch, right? All right, shoulders, right hand to left shoulder, left hand to the back of the right elbow, push. On, what day was it? Sunday, maybe? I ran to Target. All of my laundry baskets broke. Every laundry basket we had, all of a sudden, like giant chunks of plastic were coming out of them, and we couldn't hold them. And our washer and dryer are in the basement, so we have to go up and down with our laundry. So I ran to Target to grab 4 new laundry baskets, and I had to stand in line for about 45 minutes outside. And there was a girl, like 3 or 4 people in front of me, that was doing this. And as I was watching her do it, I was thinking, oh, yes, that probably feels so good. I love that one. Feels so good. But then she started to do weird things, and then I just wanted to go over and fix her. So then I had to call my best friend so that I wouldn't be weird and go touch a stranger, especially now in today's day and age with what's going on. That would probably be super not appreciated. I have done that before, and it's always been fairly well received, but in general, I shouldn't touch strangers. This feels super good to me. We're gonna hold this for a second because this just feels really good. Make sure when you're doing this that your arm is not pressing into the back of your head and you can lift your head up nice and straight. It's not forcing your head forward. Big breath in. Exhale the breath. Oh my gosh, that felt good. And release. Okay, so same thing on the other side. See, the waist is staying high. It's staying where it's supposed to. But there's this weird, like, belt that's super high that I'm not sure about. I don't know. We're going to have to talk about these in real life when we're all together. Because I'll probably keep them because I like them, except for the belt. Left hand to right shoulder. Right hand on the back of the left elbow, press. So when you're doing this, you're pressing towards yourself so that you feel it all back here. And then bring the arm up. And again, remember, you don't want your arm, your forearm on your left arm to be pressing into the back of your head. You want lots of range of motion there. All right, arms up, interlace, press up through your palms. Start to move the arms behind your ears a little bit by bringing your shoulder blades together on your back. Big breath in. Hold it for that second. And then slowly exhale. And release your arms down to your sides. All right, we're going to lie on our backs for a hip opener. Similar to the one we did a few weeks ago with the strap, but this one is just using your arms. It's not quite as many steps, and it kind of follows along with our body weight theme today, okay? So, hip opener, lay on your back. I am going to lay with my head facing you so that you can see better what I'm doing if you need a visual versus just me trying to verbalize it. Seems to work, right? Come on down. Come on onto your back. This'll work. Okay, so we're going to start by towering our legs for just a second. So keep the knees bent, walk the feet out to the sides of your mat so you can feel the edges of your mat, and then just let your knees relax into one another. Arms are going to come into cactus. So not the big T, but a bent arm down on the floor, backs of the hands flat on the floor. If you can't do that, then widen the angle until you can. But if you can get the backs of the hands down on the floor and keep a bend in the elbow, you're just going to open the shoulders a little bit differently. That's all. Find your breath here, inhaling and exhaling. One more, inhale and exhale. Okay, so the left leg is going to come out in front of you long, flat on the ground. The right leg, you're going to come into a half happy baby. So left leg out long, right leg, big toe grip or outside edge of your foot. And if this is all too much of a hold for you, then just do the hand on the knee. Totally fine. So if you've got your big toe, bottom of the foot is facing the ceiling, you're just going to lengthen the leg out to the side. Keep your grip on it. And I have to adjust. And let it go out as far or comfortably as you can without the back of the left hip lifting up. Left arm is out at your side, palm up. We're not going to hold this super long. We're just going to hold it long enough to put some space in that hip socket where the femur sits into that opening. Nice big breath in. Okay, pull the foot in. Release the leg out long next to the other one. I'm at a weird angle, so my legs are wide. Now take your hands and bring them to the tops of your hips. Find your hip bones. For most people, they are right down the middle of your thigh. So they're not the outside of your body. They're the middle. Find your hip bones and just kind of use your fingers and push them. Dig around a little bit. Notice if they're sitting high. Notice if they're sitting low. I can feel already that my right one is sitting lower than my left one just because of what we just did. So now we're going to do the left side, and then we'll feel again and see if we can feel that that one is sitting lower. So we're going to come into a half happy baby with the left leg. Big toes or outside edge of your foot. Bottom of the foot faces the ceiling to start with. Right arm is out, palm up, and then you're going to lengthen out to the side just to wherever you're comfortable. Big breath in. One more, inhale and exhale. Bring the foot in, bring the leg out long. I shimmy down on my mat, so I'm not where I want to be. Now, again, fingertips, find your hip bones. Notice how they're feeling. Notice how they're sitting, right, in that pelvic girdle. And then again, bring the arms out, palms up, and find your breath. So keeping the arms like this, we're going to bend the knees again, walk the feet out wide to the edges of the mat, and then drop the right knee down to the inside of the left foot. The inside of your right knee may be touching the floor. It may not. Mine is. Sometimes if my hip is super, super tight, it doesn't. But because we just did that quick little hip opener, you might have a little more room in there right now than you would in half an hour. So let that leg be heavy. Let the body weight of that leg pull it down towards the floor so you feel this as a stretch on the front of your hip and the front of your thigh, your quad. And then bring the right leg up. We're going to do the same thing with the left. So the inside of the left knee is going to drop down to the inside of the right foot. Again, feeling this on the top of your thigh, the front of your thigh, and the front of your hip. Knees up to center, soles of the feet together. Let your knees drop out to the sides. Arms can stay in the big T with the palms up, and you're going to find your breath here. Inhaling and exhaling in and out through the nose, holding the breath down in the core for just a comfortable count, and then slowly releasing it back up. All right, so from here, you guys are just simply going to stretch your legs out long and transition right into your Shavasana. get comfortable. Sometimes in class, I say to my students, if there's anything that we didn't do together that you feel like you need to do to just have a complete experience today, then now's the time to do that. So if there's anything we didn't do that you can do lying down here so you don't disrupt yourself too much, go for that. Take a minute and do it. Otherwise, find your breath. A lot of static in these pants. I know it's stupid, but it matters to me because this is what I wear 90% of my life. And even when I'm not teaching class, I'm still usually in yoga clothes just because. So it matters to me. I'm sorry. Close your eyes. Let your body be nice and heavy here. Pay attention to your breath and how your breath is feeling as it's moving in and out of your body. Pay attention to your hips and your shoulders. We didn't do a ton of stuff. We weren't super aggressive today, but we hit the big areas. And when you target your shoulders and your hips, almost everything feels better after. As we also did some spinal stuff, so almost everything feels better when you do a little combination. I like to teach specific classes. I like to pick a theme. I like to pick a body part. I like to pick a group of poses and teach around that. But I know that for me, I usually feel better when I take a class that just is sort of a mixed bag of things. And so as my practice is evolving to kind of match how I'm feeling physically and mentally because of the pandemic, I'm trying to bring that to you as well, in the hopes that, well, I don't know if that's the right word, but in the assumption maybe that you're feeling some of the things, some of the same things I am, just in my body, and that whatever I'm teaching you will sit well with you and feel good, and you'll leave feeling better than when you started the class. So close your eyes. Let your mind wander, right? Don't think about any one thought for too long. As thoughts come in, just give them like half a second and then send them on their way, because they're going to be there when you're done, but right now this is your time, and I just want you to be still and be very present and be very conscious, and at the same time kind of bliss out a little bit, right? Take another deep breath in. Draw the breath all the way down into the low belly. Hold it there for your count, your comfortable count. And as you exhale the breath, turn your head to the side so that the right ear is down on the mat and you're lengthening everything on the left side of your neck. Bring your head up to center, and on your next breath, take an inhale, and then as you exhale, rotate your head to the opposite side so that the left ear is down on the mat. Head up to center. Just give a little wiggle to your fingers and your toes. Kind of wake yourself up a little bit from that tiny little nap that you allowed yourself. And then either rock all the way up to sit or come up to a right side and then press up to sit. Okay, so you know what's weird about these pants? When I do this, I can feel that I have stubble and need to shave through the pants. That's going to be maybe a determining factor. that might be a non-keeper. I don't know. All right, so hands to your heart in prayer. Thank you for joining me for another class. Thank you again for bringing me into your home and for taking the time to spend with me and practice with me. I super appreciate it. I'm so grateful that you guys are taking the time to watch these videos and giving some feedback. As always, I hope that we're leaving this time together feeling better than when we first got on our mats. I am, so I hope you are. And I hope that your next couple days are sunny and warm and that you get things done, or you get nothing done and you watch Superstore on Hulu like what I've been doing every night. But I hope that you stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you again soon. Namaste. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for liking yoga. Take care.